Tommy, huge game against Cabinteely this week. Before we build up to that game, you've got a big win last week against that Loan to bounce back after your first defeat of the season. Vital victory.
Yeah, it was a great win, Adrian. I felt for a finish we probably deserved it. I know they had a couple of chances and a bit of possession, but I thought the game plan worked and we nullified their main threats, which they have a lot of. There's some very good players. No doubt they'll bounce back soon enough as well. But I think we were delighted with the win. Yeah,
we mentioned it at the end of last week, and it became evident over the weekend that you have the best home form in the First Division. But do you think that maybe not enough credit has been given almost in some ways to the away form, because you've played all the heavy hitters and pre-season promotion favourites and got good draws in those games as well?
Yeah, we have, but we probably could have got a couple of wins there, and I suppose we probably should have seen out definitely the Shelbourne and the Galway games. Bray, look, we were a bit unfortunate. It was our first game and we just dug in. But I think, I think the credit's fair enough. We've only, at the end of the day, we've only 3 points on the road. As we say, we should have probably more, and we've been very good at home, which probably shows that we can play a bit too, because the Markets Field is, as we know, is probably the best pitch in the division, so one of the biggest in the division, so you have to be able to play on that. That's what I would say. We've been playing very well, since probably the Galway game, where we started passing the ball a bit better and getting our patterns right, and we've been playing really good football since that Galway game. We haven't been just digging in, we've been opening up a bit, and we showed our quality.
I don't know how much you read in stats, Tommy, but there was another interesting one in that you're actually top of the table if you go on the 8 games before the 45-minute mark. In the first half, you've been winning or drawing every game into it. Obviously, do you see that as a positive, or do you think that's probably a negative in that we haven't been able to close out games until the 90th minute as well?
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? If we play a 45-minute game, it matters, but it doesn't really matter when you don't play a 45-minute game. So look, when you look at it, the only games I felt where obviously we threw it away against UCD and against but that wasn't as sickening one as probably the ones in the 89th minute or the 90th minute up in Galway and Shelbourne. So because you're beating kind of you're just going to 55th minute, so it gives us an opportunity to come back. And I know we did that in Shelbourne, but I thought in those 2 games in particular we kind of threw away 3 points, whereas UCD, sloppy enough goals we gave away, but I thought we played very, very well on the night. We just came up short. But I wouldn't read into too much. Those teams, those squads that they have are going to get chances in the game, and it's very hard to keep them out for 90 minutes. So the fact that we're causing them trouble, whether it be in the first half or the second half, it shows the quality that we have and how well we have been playing. Because those teams have a lot on paper, stronger squads than we'd have, and a lot more resources. So we're competing against like Premier Division quality budgets and stuff like that, and that all counts, so we can only do our best.
Yeah, we're playing Cabinteely Friday evening. You mentioned last week that they're obviously a physical side and have been for a few years, to make it difficult for our teams, but also, Tommy, they have conceded almost twice the amount of goals that your side have conceded, and they've scored less than yourselves as well. So there is a chance that if you can have that same defensive solidity as well with progressing your players, that there is a very big chance for a victory here Friday.
Look, you never know. Each game is different. When you look at the games we won, we beat Cork and Wexford, and probably Wexford we were probably the most fortunate game to win, and like you see Wexford there in the 95th minute conceding against Galway. Like, anything can happen if you're not at it on the night. We're in trouble, and any team, we keep saying it, and I know the other managers saying it gets boring for the media as well, but any team can get a result, and I think even last week proved that with the likes of Galway. I know Wexford didn't get the result, but they probably should have. It's the last kick of the game, so, and they have no points, and I'm sure they're going to get better as we go along. So, like, Cabinteely can beat anyone, and we probably can beat anyone. So it depends who's up for it on the night and who works the hardest, I think.
Yeah, you've Stradbrook travelling to as well. It probably will help, Tommy, that there hasn't been any rugby from Blackrock on the Stradbrook surface, because from my own memory serves me right, it can be a very bobbly surface on its day. Would that worry you in any way?
Well, look, every rugby wrecks every soccer pitch. Do you know, Marcus Field was wrecked a few years ago from a couple of matches in the winter. You know, and you look at it now, it's unbelievable. Like it's as I said, it's the best pitch in the country. So, you know, the no rugby is a massive help because they do wreck the pitch. To be fair, it's not built for them. Soccer pitches aren't built for rugby players.
Yeah, and on a final note, we ask you this every week, but is there any difference in injuries or any players returning or more players out ahead of the game Friday?
Returning, well, we hope Dean George will be training tonight, so we hope he's okay. You know, Matt Keane is a dead leg. Charlie Fleming and Sean McSweeney are carrying tendonitis. Like, Sean hasn't trained in a couple of weeks, so we have to mind them. Like Aaron Fitzconnor, Melody and Mark Walsh are going to be out, as we know, long term. And Kieran Hanlon is carrying a groin injury, came off with last week, and he was still a bit sore, so we'll have to assess them. They're all probably, you know, doubtful more than out, you know.
Yeah, big changes at Wexford. Ian Ryan is after taking over. He was involved in the UCD background team. He's after going from the top of the league to the bottom of the league, but he's venturing in as manager. Like yourself, obviously he was playing. I think he played with each other with Shamrock Rovers. Was that?
Yeah, I played with Ryan. Yeah, he's a good lad. Yeah.
It's a big venture now for Ian Ryan.
It is, yeah. He's a good young manager, you know, good young coach. I suppose he has he's managed schools and that, but yeah, this is his first management gig. But he's a really good coach and he's a really good eye for young players, and I'm sure he'll do well. He'll get them playing. They're a good side, you know. They have some very good players, as I said. You know, they've been unlucky in a lot of games, you know. So it's just that odd goal, and they're very young. I think they have a young squad looking at them as well. They're probably 21, 22 average age, I'd say. So I think he'll do very well down there, and they'll do very well with him because he'll have them well organised. And as we said there a couple of weeks when we were talking about him, like Brian O'Sullivan was a bit unlucky because, you know, a result either way, even a draw, gets them more confidence and that belief in themselves. So if they get that in the next couple of weeks, hopefully not against us, they'll do well, I think.
And a final note, Tommy, we saw the situation between Cabinteely and Galway, at the start of the season in terms of the COVID situation. Galway have got the 3 points for that game now. Also saw at the weekend Waterford in the top division pulling out of a game against Sligo. Would you and Treaty United be happy with the current guidelines? Because I know Cabinteely have come out and said they think that they need to be clearer in terms of what is expected from them when COVID cases rise in the club. Would you be happy with your own guidelines that you follow?
No, because we can't play our 19s. Our 19s weren't signed at the time, so we have to give a walkover if something like that happens to us. And for me, that's ridiculous. It's unfair. Like we couldn't sign our 19s on a dual form because it was too late. So if we get any COVID, you know, which probably, you know, our lads have been excellent and doing everything right through no fault of our own, we have to give a walkover, and that's just the way it is. And that's giving teams a huge advantage. Like, if we were allowed to play the 19s, I'd play them. You know, it wouldn't bother me. We just play them, give them a game. It'd be good for them, good exposure at this level. But now we're told we can't play our 19s because they were signed too late, which to me, you know, doesn't make any sense.